Hi there, welcome back to The Taste of Life. My name is Muriel Bollen, and in this series of videos, I'm guiding you through the 7 steps that I describe in my book, The Taste of Becoming Me, and that are the 7 steps that helped me on my journey of changing my mindset and changing in that way my whole experience of life. And over the past few weeks, we've been dealing with step number 1, claiming your power. And we've been going over different areas in your life where you can actually change your mindset on what it means to claim your power in that aspect of your life. And today we are going to talk about the power of your body. We're going to talk about how you can shift from being a victim of illness to actually recognizing the power that you hold inside of you of healing yourself and healing your body. Now, I know that this is an area of life where it is probably the hardest to really take that full responsibility and claim that power because it is such a scary area of life. It can mean life or death. And I know that because I went through the whole shift of mindset myself. Now, illness, being sick, physical discomfort has always been an area of my life where it was almost impossible for me to claim my power. I gave all my power away because it was way too scary for me to take that responsibility upon myself. So I would always run to the doctor right away, and I would always blame outside circumstances for whatever I was experiencing in my body. It never occurred to me to go and look inside, and the concept of that maybe emotions or beliefs or trauma from my past could be responsible for whatever discomfort I was experiencing in my physical body. So everything shifted when I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011. And before that time, I had already been reading Louisa Hay's books about how you can heal, how you have the power to heal your body. And I've been practicing that on headaches and sore throats and stomach pains. And I totally believed in the concept at that point of that there were other causes to illness than what I had always considered in all the years before. But cancer, that was something different because that was a big one. Like a sore throat, it was okay for me to go and try out what all these people were saying about, a sore throat is kind of like words unspoken that are stuck, and it's an emotion that is stuck in your throat. And when you can go and find out what it is that you have not been letting out, what it is that you've been holding in, then the sore throat will disappear. And I had discovered that actually it worked. But as I said, it was easy to go and try it out on something like a sore throat. But go and really practice it on something like cancer, well, that was a different story altogether. And the way I went about it is that I realized, I knew deep down, because I had already been kind of like dabbling into the journey of discovering my own power, but never went all the way. So I knew deep inside that this was a very, very, very important message that my body was sending me. And yes, it was a matter of life and death, because that is how important the message was. That was how important the change in my life had to be. And when I was reading more and more about the psychosomatic cause of breast cancer and what it has to do with emotions, it became more and more clear to me that that was actually, indeed, was what was at the root of this cancer, and that was the change that my cancer was trying to communicate to me. Because in the psychosomatic world and in the world of emotions, breast cancer has everything to do with nurturing. And I knew that it was up to me to change my belief of who I thought I had to be as a mother and who I thought I had to be as a child. And my belief of what I thought a mother had to do and be in this world. And I knew and I totally believed, the longer I went on this journey and the more I was reading about it, that it was only by going after this root belief and transforming it and really discovering all the aspects that had to do with it, that my cancer was going to be healed. And I'm not saying here that I did not go to a doctor. I did. I had surgery, I had radiation. So I have the greatest respect for the medical profession. What I'm trying to say is that there was an aspect deep inside of me that was at the very, very root of what was bringing up this cancer, this physical presence in my body that was kind of communicating a message to me that it was time to change something very, very important in my life. And so I just knew that that was the way I had to go if I really, really wanted to be healed. And this was also the moment where for the first time I claimed my power in this aspect of my life. Because as I said before, I had always been listening to the doctors and doing exactly what they told me to do. And this time, for the first time ever, I could not, because I had already progressed on my journey in such a way that I knew that if I would follow their advice completely, that I would not get to learn the lesson that I was supposed to learn. I was not going to really hear the message that my body was sending me. And so the way that I claimed my power was that I refused to do the chemotherapy that I was recommended. And that was probably one of the toughest decisions I ever took in my life. And it was a very, very big step in claiming my power. And I was totally afraid of the responsibility I was taking upon myself. Because it was made clear to me by the doctors and by everyone that it was my responsibility and mine alone what I was doing and what would happen to my body. But I was also totally convinced that I had to listen. I really had to listen this time to what my body was telling me. And I really had to go deep. And I knew that if my body would be ravaged by the chemo and everything that comes with it, I would not have the strength to do that. And so that is why I went against it. And that was really the first time ever that I totally claimed my power in the aspect of my physical body and that area in my life. And so I started working on my belief of who a mother is and what my idea was of who I had to be as a mother and as a child. And I really, really dove deep into myself, and that was actually the real beginning of my journey of becoming me, of becoming real, because that was actually the message that my soul was sending to me, and it was communicating through my body, through this illness, that it was time for me to become real, that it was time for me to stop hiding. And the more I progressed on my journey, the more I discovered how much power actually resides inside of us, and how much wisdom our body holds, and what a powerful tool of communication it is, if only we are prepared to listen. So I'm not saying here don't go to a doctor or don't take any medication. I'm not saying that at all. The only thing I'm saying is listen to your body before you start running or before you start doing anything else. And in combination, also work on and discover the root of what is behind this illness. What is the message that your body is sending you? What is the message that is coming from your soul and that your body is trying to communicate to you through this physical discomfort? So that is basically the message that I want to give to you today, that there is a tremendous power inside of you. And I know illness is such a scary area of our lives. And I know this is a hard one. This is a very difficult one to grasp and a very difficult one to take responsibility for. But from my own experience and how I've grown over the years in listening to my body, I can tell you that it is really a very, very important and maybe the most important step in claiming your power. So basically what I want to leave you with today is try to get connected with the concept of the power that resides inside of you and the knowledge and the wisdom that your body holds. And that when an illness surfaces, that it is basically a message of your soul, that something needs to change, that something is not really in line with your soul purpose, and that your body is asking you in this way to make the change. So the only thing I'm asking of you, or as a tip for today, is just really let that concept sink in and see how you feel about it. And if you want to go further in it, I recommend that you start reading some books about it. And few of my favorite books are You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And her books are really phenomenal. And she also speaks from her own experience, like I do. And the second one, which actually is a really, really thick volume of a book that we have in our house and that we consult many, many times when something comes up in our physical body, and it's called The Key to Self-Liberation, and it's written by a Belgian author by the name of Christian Beerland. I'm going to leave you with that, and I hope that I've been able to really bring a shift about in your mindset of what illness is, and that it is not a punishment, but that it's actually a very, very powerful message that your soul is sending you through this beautiful tool of communication that is our body. Thank you for listening. I really enjoyed talking to you today. As always, if you want to reach out to me, my website is listed below. And I hope to see you again next week when we will be talking about inhibitions and how they take our power away and what we can do about it to change our mindset. Thank you again. Have a good day. Bye for now.